explosions, lasers, monster trucks, re-entry, crime, pizza, audience retention.
Shady woman. The lean woman eyes you while juggling a curious-looking blade, curved in some places, straight in others, and featuring a cruelly serrated edge along the spine. What is this now? Stare a little stronger and you'll burn a hole in me with those peepers.
I saw a giant footprint on my way here. Do you know anything about that?
A giant what? She scratches her head. I have no idea what you are talking about.
By the way, that's an interesting knife you're carrying.
This thing? She gazes at the blade in her hand as if noticing it for the first time. I pinched it off some clueless feller back in the big city. Looks old, right?
I heard about a peculiar knife like this one before.
Ah, I'm sure there are others like it. It even had a brand etched on the blade. Must be the Smith sigil.
Please, let me have a closer look at the stupendous craftsmanship of the extraordinary weapon.
Be my guest. You examine it closely. It is indeed a fine knife, expertly forged, free of rust, and equipped with a serrated edge along the spine. Above the crossguard, an intricate maker's mark is carved into the steel. A 5-pointed star before 2 crossed swords.
Who exactly was its previous owner?
No clue. Just some drunk oldster. Shuffling down a dark highway, I didn't want him to slip and fall onto a wicked thing like that.
How much for it?
It ain't for sale, lover boy. She stops fondling the blade and returns it to its sheath as if to spare you further temptation. Way too nifty for that. I'm gonna try and bluff her since they're thugs. Lying to liars seems like a good way to go.
Hey man, you can't kid a kidder.
The blade's lawful owner is a very powerful man. Best you return his property, or your head might end up decorating a pike.
The color drains from her face and she whispers, Really? Who is he?
A rich and vengeful oligarch.
Crap. Just take it then. I don't want any trouble from the powers that be. You maintain a meaningful silence. She unsheathes the blade and hands it to you. You received stainless knife. It looks exactly like the knife described to you by that merchant in Claimreach. The woman gives a weighty sigh and returns her attention to the mug, but I have no qualms about save scumming. These games are so long, I just can't imagine not save scumming because I don't want to play them like 10 times over. So I like to make sure that what happens the way I want it to. Can't control real life, but sometimes you can control some video game stuff. You approach a tent guard. He spits out a wad of chewed leaves. Yeah, what?
Something important in that tent? It's the only one with a guard.
It's old man Svanos. He uses it for meetings and important business.
Can you move aside and let me enter?
Do you have a reason? He looks you up and down. Didn't think so.
Yeah, well, good day then.
Likewise. You approach a traveler. He slams his mug down on the table, nearly spilling his drink. Oi there, chum. It's a fine day for a cold flagon of ale, if I do say so myself. Beats the piss out of working, that's for certain.
How do you keep your ale cold out here?
Oh, that's easy. See this gent over there? He points to a man sitting before a fire. The older one? He's a whiz at that kind of stuff.
Come now, friend. I'm sure this had nothing to do with magic.
You successfully persuade him, and he shrugged. We sealed the keg of pine resin, tied a rope around it, and let it in on the bottom of the river overnight. Then it rolled back into the camp, nicely chilled. That's the whole trick. Simple technique taught you a valuable lesson in survival. You gained 1 point in outdoorsmanship.
I saw a giant footprint on the way here. Do you know anything about that?
Nope, but I bet the villagers do.
You mentioned some work. What are the details?
Oh, yes. That has to do with a buzz, not like the good kind, like this ale is giving me. So, bees, maybe? Oh, I think I have to click this one, don't I?
Let me guess, you're a beekeeper?
If only. Bees are nice, and they only sting you once. Nay, I'm talking about flibberflies, chum. The geezer over in the big city needs a live broodmother, and I'm the only one who's gonna get her. He quaffs his ale. Or get another fella to get her for me.
Why would someone need a flibberfly broodmother?
To start a hive of their own, I'd imagine. The nasty honey and the bitey butters produce taste horrible, but for an alchemist or an arsonist, some violent cuss who likes to cause trouble, it has its uses.
Is it legal to bring such a dangerous insect into the city?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But don't quote me on that.
And why would anyone do such a hazardous job for you?
I'll cough up half the dough to the bloke who gets the queen. Then the other half be delivering the beastie to Swordhaven, with nary a bite or a boil on my heart.
How much is half the dough?
50 dinars, chum.
Why didn't you ask for help in the camp?
I did, but nobody wanted to take me up on the offer. Their loss, I say.
Got it.
His flagon stops mid-hoist, and he looks up at you.
What? I've decided to help you.
Nice, but getting that queen won't be simple. First off, there's no telling where the creepy crawly's at, so it's going to be a game of chance. Second, you'll really have to dig for her. A bite or two is guaranteed, but if you're sure you can pull it off, I'll gladly split the reward 50-50. He points west. The hive's off that-a-way, a bit north of the village.
Speaking of the Fleeblefly broodmother, I forgot what I wanted to say. Let's change the subject. Can you answer a few questions first?
What did you have in mind?
Who are you?
Name's Vilar, and I'm a man of many talents, foremost of which is having myself a jolly good time.
What is this place?
A refuge for friends, relatives, and like-minded souls, started by our kind old Uncle Svarno. He smirks. We're just enjoying some time together with a drop of ale and a soup con of old-fashioned fun.
Heard any good stories lately?
The day we drained our first keg, I was pissing in the river when I saw my exact match waving up from beneath the water, inviting me to join him in the depths. Uncle says I just got spooked by my own reflection, but I'm telling you, that wasn't it. I think we killed whatever he saw in a previous video. Should I call them episodes or videos? I don't know.
Got it. Now let's change the subject. Likewise. Well, I'm off.
Farewell and safe travels. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna click my main character only, because he's the sneakiest. Well, that's annoying. Pickpocket is... It sucks that I can see what's in there, but I can't get in there, you know? I've mentioned this before, but I wish I could... I don't know if it's called a yaw or what, but I wish I could change, like, the pitch just like 5 more degrees. I realize it can't go all the way down to be like a third person game, like over the shoulder. I wish I just had like a little bit more. And this is the other thing I want to, so if I could use my other mouse buttons, all 3 of them, I personally would have one to select the whole party. In some games where they don't have a button to highlight or toggle the highlight, I make the highlight a button.
You gotta work on your narration.
But since this game has one, I wouldn't do that. Obviously, I would do party, sneak, and lockpick. I imagine I would lockpick more than I would pickpocket. I get confused on this map a lot. For those that don't know, these circles are the party, and then this beige thing, I think, is the camera. I talked to all 3 of these people.
I have a couple questions for you. Introduce yourself, why don't you?
Call me Lapins, hot stuff. Don't ask if it's my real name. We need to get to know each other better first.
What can you tell me about this camp?
What camp? This is a party, not a camp. Come on, don't be shy. Grab a mug of ale and join us in the merriment. It gets so lonely for poor little me, surrounded by all these hairy brutes and not a gentleman in sight to keep me company.
This has the suspicious ring of reverse psychology to it.
Heard any good gossip lately?
I've heard the local bailiff has a stick up his bum and a passion for hangings. It's good that he's currently too busy without to trouble our close-knit circle of friends.
I see. Now let's change the subject.
The fat man's expression is unabashedly jolly, and the crinkles around his eyes suggest he's accustomed to laughter and merriment. On the other hand, his thick arms and neck are evidence of a lifetime of toil. Even the great ball on his belly looks hard. Welcome to Svarno's way station for wanderers. As you may have guessed, I am Svarno.
Nice to meet you.
And you too. At our camp, everyone gets a warm greeting.
What is this place?
Paying attention, you spot one of the camp's residents dropping a huge blade, too large even for gutting deer, and his associate is wearing a bandolier of throwing knives. It's not exactly the kit of a simple traveler. I've had quite a bit of success as a trader in my day, but I was always distressed by the poverty I saw on the road. When I amassed enough wealth to retire, I decided to commit a small portion of it to the indignant. Grainhold is but my latest stop.
You're saying you feed and clothe all these people?
Oh no, I am not a duke. I provide what help I am able where it is needed most. In return, I collect new friends everywhere I go, like yourself, and so many tales by the firelight I could never tell them all. Even if I lived to be 100. You keep your thoughts to yourself. Helping others isn't some high and mighty act of heroism. It is what every sensible person should do.
Is there anything you need done around the camp?
I want to treat my friends to some famous punch, but I am missing couple ingredients. Help me gather them. I set aside generous portion for you.
This is no fit task for a member of the aristocracy, but very well. Tell me what you need.
Nothing fancy. I am short on dragon leaf, a fragrant red flower that grows in woods. 5 leaves should be more than enough. Oh, and you know what would make punch even better? A bit of bee honey. There's an apiary west of here. He points the way. That's if you're interested.
I'm gonna check my bag. I might already have what you need.
Sure, take your time.
I saw a giant footprint on my way here. Do you know anything about that?
No, sorry. Maybe someone in the village can help you.
I have the herbs you asked for. I wanted to ask you some questions.
I'm cooking for whole camp here, my lord. If it's about business, let's chat. Otherwise, I must beg your pardon.
Think I'll be on my way.
Until we meet again. Make like a baby and head out? I mean, I guess that's technically accurate. Oh, I'm over encumbered. First time that's happened in this game. Is it over encumbered or just encumbered? Uh-oh, I'm losing my marbles. Let's fill it back up with more stuff. You stand before a modest roadside shrine dedicated to Almra, goddess of earth, cattle, medicine, and commerce. Udiked touches the shrine. Those who value honest work honor Almra. I don't remember what she sounds like. She actually has a voice sometimes, so this might be weird. In Muir Ulm, we call this goddess Ormerelda, the cow mother. Her checkered gown symbolizes the different phases of the moon. In the end, all deities are one, mere sparks of the eternal dragon fire. I never thought of that, yet it fits perfectly. Truly, there is something poetic about the way the dragon created our world. You scratch your chin and turn your attention back to the shrine. Perhaps a prayer is in order. You examine the small fane. The goddess's wooden statuette isn't quite right. Perhaps the artist wasn't very skilled. Or maybe there's another reason for it. But Ormer is portrayed as frowning when usually she smiles. Well, that makes me not want to... Well, screw it. Maybe it'll start a quest. You recite the dragon's mantra 12 times, then perform the customary 2 bows, 2 claps, and finish up with 1 final bow.
And a partridge in a pantry.
You walk away satisfied. On to the new adventures.
Alright guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Swordhaven. If you're digging it, I post every day, Monday through Friday. That's 5 videos a week. So if that's something you jive with, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, be excellent to each other, and party on.